Hey there everyone! Today we are going to talk about making kick drums. I've been asked by one of the Patreon member, Corey, hi Corey, to make a kick drum sample pack, mostly made for IDM, intelligent dance music purposes. And I thought while making it, why not just make a tutorial about how I make those kick drums in the modular. So let's get to it. First thing you need is an oscillator. This guy. We're going to start by using a sine wave. The first thing you want to do is to control the volume. So I have routed this envelope generator to the output gain of the VCA. Instead of doing it manually, I will use a gate stream from a sequencer that is off screen. So the first two things you can play with are the envelope length and shape. So no attack. The decay will make the falling edge of the sound. And the release, if you have it, will make it even longer. You can just make clicks. Anyway, what we need is a short percussive sound. Now we are going to turn down the tuning knob of the oscillator, as the main frequency is still a little bit too high. Here I'm adding some input gain and drive to this kick. This is starting to get interesting. We are still missing a key element to the kick drum sound. It's the pitch envelope at the beginning of the sound. The simplest way to do this is to mult or duplicate the amplitude envelope and send it to control the pitch of the oscillator. I'm using the exponential FM input because it has a bigger range than the classic linear one. Now we can change the depth of modulation here. Let's start at 0 and increase just to hear the difference in results. Let's bring the main frequency down a little bit to make the kick deeper. So now our envelope over here is acting on both the amplitude from the VCA and the frequency of the oscillator. If you want to take this a step further, I will send the gate to this envelope so it triggers both here. You can just mult your trig or gate to two different envelopes. The important thing is that we will use one for amplitude and the second one for the frequency. Envelope number 1 will be amplitude. And the second, the pitch. So with a short pitch envelope, we can make the kick more clicky. Or more boomy. If we go full, there we go, laser-like. or zap-like. What I'm doing right now is that I'm recording everything anyway, and I suggest you do the same when you're making sound design like this. Just keep recording everything, so in the end you might have a lot of sounds that you can use from this. Okay, so now let's change the waveform of the oscillator. So far we've been using a sine wave, which will get us into 808 territory. Now if we get a triangle, we are entering 909 territory, especially if we drive it a little bit. Now let's play again with the envelopes and see what kind of sounds we can get out of this triangle. Another thing now, if you want a hard kick, you can use a square wave. Back off the drive a little bit. I will also turn down the control volume. This VCA, the dynamics from Make Noise, is filtering a little bit of the high frequency at the same time as it lowers the volume. So it will make the square wave a little bit less aggressive. But we could also use a filter in between. Let's use the pitch envelope to control the filter opening as well. Once again, I will play around a little bit with the two different envelopes and see what comes up. If you start to add resonance to your filter, you can have stuff that are a little bit in between bass and kick. Or you can just filter the kick without envelope to just act on the spectral content of your sound. Let's add a little bit of drive to this. Let's change the slope of the filter to 12 dB per octave to leave more of the sound pass through as the slope is more gentle. This won't work as well if you use the classic sine or triangle wave, but it can be interesting anyway. Let's add the envelope modulation to the filter cutoff again and experiment with it. Can create some interesting overtones. So we are using this filter as a sort of resonator here. If you add too much resonance, you will end up losing the input signal and hearing almost only the self-resonant filter. Okay, let's get back to the classic, most normal sound. Some people like to add noise into their kick drums. So that's what we are going to do. We are going to use the white noise output of the noise tool here. Plug it to the VCA. And use the pitch envelope to modulate its amplitude. So now let's open the VCA to the control voltage of the envelope, and we will start to hear the noise. This is usually made to emulate more real kick drums. Doesn't really work, but anyway. I like that. Let's change the waveform again. Back on the sinusoid one. Now if you want full-on distortion, you can route that to a wave folder. I will take the output of the wave folder here. Already noisy. And here's the output of the VCA to the input of the wave folder. You can hear already that even at 0, the sound is a little bit different, a little bit more aggressive. We can quickly get into not very nice laser territory yet. So as we are in modular land, let's route that to the filter. Drive the input to the max. What have I done? Ooh, that's a nice sounding growly thing. This just before gives me an idea that we can now use some audio rate frequency modulation of the filter. This oscillator here, FM. Crunchy weirdness. And once again, as we are in modular land, for the end of this video, I'll just put some random a little bit everywhere, just to see where it goes. So I will clock the sample and hold here. The same gate pattern, and let's send that everywhere. Not so much of a kick drum, but there can be some interesting sound in there. You never know. So I will keep the recording on and twiddle some knobs until the end. No more capital information to take from there, except I will probably be giving for free all the raw samples and work a little bit more in details on some of those sounds and make them available on Patreon for the people who get the producer pack here. Go check it out if you want. If there is a real demand of me doing the same kind of tutorial outside of the modular realm, maybe in VCV Rack or in on the special synths that people know I have, just let me know in the comments or on Patreon or whatever. And see you next time!
Oh,